Sochi was incredible. It was a dream come true for me, and it was something that, as a 9-year-old little girl, seemed only like this far-fetched star that I'd never really reach. And a month ago, that idea of Sochi finally came true. As much as I said it became a reality to me before it happened, I don't think it actually did, because when I actually got there and I saw what the Paralympics and the Olympics were all about firsthand, it was amazing. And it, oh my goodness, beyond my wildest dreams. It took my breath away, and it was everything that I thought it was going to be. It was that and more. The people were fantastic. The culture was amazing. The whole event was spectacular. The energy and the connection between the athletes, even though we all came from somewhere different, there was a strong connection because we're all athletes. We know what it takes to get there, and we all know what we had to go through. So there was a bond between all of us, and it was something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. When I was 9 and Mao told me that, hey, one day you could be a Paralympian. To me, I'm like, yeah, cool, sure, that seems fun. That seems like a journey and an experience. Well, let me tell you, it was that, but a whole lot more. A whole lot more that I wasn't expecting. And really, I don't think anybody does. And I think that's the whole treasure of being an athlete, is you learn along the way and you grow. That's how you become an athlete. You see what you need to do, you take care of what you need to do, and then the reward in the end, I mean, it's as good as you're gonna make it. So to be an athlete requires dedication, and that sounds very cliche, but you need to wake up every morning and say to yourself, you're an athlete. And you need to act like an athlete, and you need to prepare to be an athlete. And if that requires 4 hours in the gym that day, then that's what you have to do. And if it requires you not eating that birthday cake at your friend's house, then you don't. And if it requires you to go to an event, then you go. And when you show up at a competition, you need to be prepared, you need to be strong, and a lot of it is mental as well, and that's not easy to handle at any age. No matter how good of an athlete you are, you will always get nervous, and it's just the battle of fighting your nerves and getting over that and still being able to compete. I hated airplanes when I was little, absolutely hated them. Well, I didn't really have any choice because there's only one way you're going to get to Colorado in a day. There's only one way you're going to get to Europe in a day, and that's by plane. And I have a feeling that I see more airports than I do of my own bedroom sometimes. And it's really hard, especially since I am very close to my family and I'm a homebody. I hate being away from home. So that sacrifice of giving up my time with my family and my friends was, I think, the hardest for me, because you are traveling all the time and you're away from home and you're out of your comfort zone, and but that's what it takes. That's what you need to do. And it's just, the quicker you get used to it and you manage it, the better off you're going to be. And it's just trying to prepare your mind and your body for that, because I mean, you get sick all the time and very easily, so you just really have to take care of yourself. Colorado is my second home. I think the entire state has become my second home, because I have probably been in just about every part of the state that has a mountain, even that sometimes doesn't have a mountain. I have family in Colorado, and not only by blood. I consider most of my team and my coaches, especially Mao, part of my family, and I feel very comfortable. When I land in Denver and see everything brown, and then you see nothing to one side and the mountains to the other, it's a comforting feeling, and it's so very different from my home. It's funny, it's an ironic really how I consider that home, even though it looks nothing like my real home. But I think the people who I've experienced and the places I've seen and the experiences I had made that home for me. Mao and Charlie, the dynamic duo, I guess. God, hearts of gold, both of them. And Charlie is just, I rarely see him, but every time I see him, I feel like I've known him forever. And Mao has become my mom away from home. It's funny because she lives in Colorado, so it's perfect. And she 9 years ago, she found me, and for 6 years, she trained me. And during those 6 years, I have learned more than any school teacher or anything I could have learned here. I learned how to communicate with people, I learned how to handle myself in certain situations, and I learned how to become a better athlete and a better person. The amount that we were able to share together, I think, will always be treasured for both of us. We've been on 15-hour car rides to day trips, and we've just been around. And one thing about Mao is if you give her your 100%, she'll give it back, plus some. And she cherishes me, and I cherish her, and she's a hard worker, and that's what I love about her. Only if you guys promise me you're all going to do your best today.
Yes.
110% is going to go into this game today, okay?
Make it 150.
No, my message to the upcoming generation, which I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of them, I really hope so, is that you're not going to know what's coming next, and there's going to be times where you're absolutely terrified and you have no idea where you're headed. But that's the glory of being an athlete. That's how we all start. We don't know where we're going or what we're going to turn into, but you can swear to yourself, and I promise you, that if you put your 110% into it, the sport and the people who you're with will give 110% back. Because being strong, being an athlete, and being healthy should mean everything. It means everything to me, and it gives you a place in life. And I think that's the best part about it for me, and I hope that everybody else coming up into a sport, not only skiing, realizes that as well.